Hello, everybody. I'm Logan. This is Logan Talk Sports, and today I'm going to be going over my World Cup predictions. Okay, so beginning with Group A, I think Mexico will definitely top this group. I just think that, they're a host country and they'll be ready to play. It's the World Cup. They know what they got to do to win. And yeah, I just think the host magic will allow them to top this group. But then I'm going to go South Korea right after that. They definitely have a chance to top the group. I wouldn't be shocked at all, but um, I'm gonna have them right in this second spot, and then I'll have Czechia in third, which leaves South Africa in fourth. I just feel like this bracket or this group is not like I don't know. It's not super hard to pick in my opinion. I just feel like it's a toss up in terms of these two can switch and then these two can switch. But other than that, I don't see any switching between the four of them as a whole. Um, and then Group B is pretty similar. It's Canada and Switzerland as your two moving on, honestly. And then I'd say Bosnia and then Qatar, but it's not anything too crazy. Very similar situation where I do think Switzerland definitely has a lot better chance than Canada to top the group, but I wouldn't be insanely shocked just because again host magic. So, but I am gonna go Switzerland to top that group, and then I'm gonna go with Brazil. I think they'll just I don't know come out and play. They'll be ready. Morocco definitely has a shot, and they're going to advance. Um, but I just think Brazil will top this group. They are the better team between them and Morocco, so I have that, and then I'm gonna go Scotland above Haiti. Not too much insight going into that, just my opinion, honestly. And then this is the first group right here. Group D is the probably the first tough group in picking of who's actually going to advance a little bit. Um, a lot of people are saying that the U.S. are not going to top this group, or the U.S. are not even going to make it out of this group. I just think that's a little silly. It's definitely jokes, honestly. The U.S. are clearly the best team in this group, in my opinion, and I'd be surprised if they don't make it out. Turkey right after that, and then I feel like just Australia. They always seem to have some sort of upset happen really in every like tournament they kind of play in. Like the World Baseball Classic was very similar in how Australia they have a mentality of they're gonna come out and they're gonna make something happen. So yeah, I think Australia might make it out as a third place team, but we'll see. And then I think it's pretty clearly um, this is how Group E is gonna set up with Germany topping in Ecuador. Um, Going right under that. I just don't see a huge reason Germany shouldn't easily top this group. They're, um, I don't know, just pretty clearly the best team. Pretty easy group for them, honestly. And then Group F is a pretty good group. Like, this one is a lot harder to pick, in my opinion. I am going to go with Sweden actually topping it over the Netherlands, just because I think it's pretty easy to just go, oh, the best team in each group's going to top it every time. I just don't see that happening in this World Cup. And so that leaves it with Sweden topping it, Netherlands going second, Japan going third, and then Tunisia going in fourth. Um, but this is definitely a hard group, in my opinion, of like, it really could go any of these three teams. I'd be a little surprised, especially if like Japan topped this group, but I would not be shocked if Sweden or Netherlands don't advance past this stage, just because it is definitely a tough group to get out of. Um, and then we're going to another easy group, honestly. I just don't really think Belgium has much competition here. They're pretty clearly the best team, and it's not even like a Group F situation where the second best team is good enough to possibly upset, or even the third place team or third best team is in a place where they could upset. I just think Belgium's by far the best team here. Um, but I think Egypt will um, have a good shot of making it out of this group. But I don't think they really have a chance against Belgium, to be completely honest. Um, and then Group H, I mean, I'm gonna go the Euro champions. This Spain is pretty clearly the favorite, or at least my favorite. Like, I'd be pretty surprised if Spain goes out before the semifinals. Honestly, like I think most people would be. Um, so I think it's a pretty easy group to pick. I think it's Spain, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, and Cape Verde. I wouldn't be too shocked just based on this switching around right here with Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia, but I don't really see it happening. I don't know. I mean, it could. It doesn't. This is just my prediction though, so I don't know. Then going down to Group I. I mean, France is the best team in the world in some people's eyes. They obviously won the 2018 World Cup. We're in the finals of the 2022 World Cup, and I mean, it's France. They're gonna be coming out ready to play. They're the most experienced team of any like World Cup side right now, basically, which is how many games they've played and how far they've gotten into the tournament. So, um, I'd be pretty surprised if they don't top their group. But if they weren't, I don't think it's gonna be Senegal to beat them in this group. I think it'd be Norway. I just think that Odegaard and Holland combo is just going to be pretty strong throughout the World Cup, and I think they're going to get second in this group over Senegal. I think all three teams will advance, though. It's just that I think Norway is going to shock Senegal a little bit, even though I don't know if that's too huge of a shock. Um, and then Group J, I feel like is really easy. It's Argentina, Austria, Algeria, and Jordan. Like that's just I don't see it really differing from that a bunch. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think that's a super hard group for Argentina at all. So I think they should top it, and then Austria, definitely not the best team, but it's just not that hard of a group in my opinion. To where I think Austria will definitely make it through to the round of 32, but not much further than that. But we'll get to those after we finish the group stage. Um, and then I'm going to go in Group K with Portugal to win the group. I just think they're the best team. I mean, it's like I've said with a lot of these groups, it's hard. It's a lot easier to pick their group stage, in my opinion, now that it's like 48 teams in the World Cup compared to 32, because there's like not really a group of death this year or anything to that level, to where I feel like it's just like a lot of these pot one teams were given a lot of not very good teams after them, so it's just pretty easy to pick something like Portugal to top their group like that. So, and then Colombia, I think, is just the better of these three teams, pretty easily, honestly. I'd be pretty shocked if either Uzbekistan or Congo um, get over them. And then this is another hard group, Group L. I don't know. I think England is going to be prepared enough. 60 years of hurt by now, and I just think it's their time to finally show. I mean, they played great in the Euros in 24, and I think it's their time to show that they have such a talented squad. And I actually like their decision to not go with just the best talent, but the best team overall, because um the club mindset of soccer is really like invading into um, the countryside of soccer, to where you're getting a lot more tactical when a lot of it used to be just individual plays at moments. And so I think it was a great decision to choose a team based on tactics instead of just skill. And so I think that's going to really help England finally, and that they will top this group. And then pretty easily, um, Croatia after them. But um, yeah, I just think they that Croatia. I mean, Croatia could definitely top this group, but I'm just giving it to England, and then I'm gonna go Ghana over Panama for that, and then for the best third place teams, I'm honestly gonna go with I mean Senegal. I said they would probably make it through. Same with Japan. Um, I just feel like it'd be fun for Australia to make it through, so I'm gonna give it to them. Definitely Scotland, maybe Czechia. Um, there's three more teams. Honestly, I'm gonna go with a little bit of a surprise here, and just go like something like Bosnia, just because I think that'd be fun. Um, and then Iran, and then Algeria to finish that one out. And so now that moves us on to the knockout stages. So we get a round of 32 matchup between Germany and Australia. I mean, I think it's going to be Australia. I think Australia making it to this round of 32 is a success. That's like impressive to be able to make it out of the group stage, even though I had them as a third place team. Um, I just think Germany's too much firepower for them. Similar to my next pick that I'm gonna make right here with France beating Japan. It's just too much. I mean, I wouldn't. That's not something that's like too far out of the like left field or anything. I just don't see it happening. France is just it's they're too experienced to lose in a brand new round. Basically, we don't see a round of 32 before this year, so I just don't see that happening. Um, and then South Korea and Canada, I'm gonna give it to some host magic, even though this game would be taking place in Los Angeles. Of just Canada knows how to play in CONCACAF and just North America in general. I think they'll be um, wanting to continue playing in this a little bit more than South Korea would, and they'll have that home magic to maybe get to the round of 16. Um, Sweden versus Morocco. I don't know. Morocco, this one's definitely one of the hardest out of these round of 32. Um, Sweden obviously has a great team, but Morocco are the technical AFCON champions. They're not, but it's just I don't know. Morocco's a great team. They perform pretty well in a lot of tournaments now, but I don't know. This one is definitely a toss up. I'm gonna just give it to Morocco though. I just feel like they're a bit more experienced throughout tournaments recently to be able to advance past past Sweden in that game. And then that moves us on to Colombia and Croatia. Um, I wouldn't be too shocked with Colombia beating Croatia here. Croatia is getting very old with their roster to the point where I just don't know how much they'll have left in the tank to be able to make it past some of these rounds. And so a team like Colombia might be able to knock them out early. I just don't know for sure just because, I don't know. I just feel like I'd rather go with a um, more experienced team in this situation because I'm also definitely going to be doing more predictions as each round ends, kind of. So I think it's just the safe pick to go Croatia here. And then Euro champions again, just over Austria. Austria is not even that great of a team, in my opinion. Spain's obviously the favorite, in my opinion, to win this tournament. And so I just think it's going to be a pretty easy matchup for them. They're going to make it through. And um, yeah, I don't know. Not much more than that. And then that brings us to USA versus Bosnia. I did not realize that's who the USA would be playing when I picked that. But it's pretty clearly the USA, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. There's not much else to that in my, like, I don't know. Uh, they're the better team. And it's in San Fran. I just think they'll be ready. And that would set the US up to play in Seattle. That'd be really fun. So Um, it's definitely something I want to see. And then I want to go Belgium over Czechia. Uh, I just think Belgium's the better team. Belgium, again, similar to Croatia, they have a lot of experience, but they're just getting older. Players like De Bruyne are getting up there in age. And so you just don't know how far they're going to make it in a tournament. But I think they have enough firepower to get over Czechia in that game and set up that round of 16 matchup versus the USA. And then this round of 32 game, Brazil Netherlands in Houston, would be insane. It'd be an amazing game to have here in Houston. And it's honestly kind of hard just because Brazil just has so much individual play, I feel like, but the Netherlands is so team oriented to where it's like, I mean, and not saying that Brazil can't be a team, but I just think Netherlands plays more as a team than Brazil does. But I think Brazil, with how much even they just have had like almost no success a lot of times in recent tournaments, um, I just think they're trying to prove something in this tournament. I feel like, and they're gonna make a deep run. And I definitely think this could be a close game, maybe go into extra time. But I'm gonna take Brazil in that one. And then Ecuador and Norway. I don't know. I think Norway would have that one. It's two teams that I don't see going super far in this tournament, but it's just not something that I think. I don't know. It's not that um, big of a toss up in my opinion. It's not two of the best teams, but I do think Norway's better than Ecuador, to where I'd pick them to go over in that match. And then I think pretty easily Mexico in Mexico City going over Scotland. Um, that's just not that big of a challenge for them, in my opinion. And again, home magic in Mexico City to set up a round of 16 game, probably against England, who I'm going to pick here over Algeria. Um, yeah, it's just both of these games, Mexico versus Scotland and England versus Algeria. It's just there's a clear better team in both of those matchups, and especially with Mexico, they're at home. So I think that would be a very likely scenario. And then Argentina versus Uruguay, that'd be a huge matchup to have in Miami in the round of 32. Um, I don't think Uruguay takes it, but that's just a big matchup to have that early in the tournament. But it's kind of fun with how this new bracket's laying out this year. But I do think Argentina will take it. They've won the last World Cup, so I wouldn't be shocked to see them go all the way again. Um, and then Turkey versus Egypt. I'll take Turkey. They're just they're I mean they're the team a lot of people have topping the USA's group, and I just think they're the better team in this game. I don't know. I just think it'd be a good game, but I think Turkey is just clearly better, honestly, and I don't know. That's how a lot of these picks are gonna go. Is just I just think these teams are better than the others. There obviously could be upsets, um, but I just don't see a lot happening just right now. Maybe when I do my predictions later in the tournament, I'll see a couple more just based on how teams are playing. But I just don't see a lot right now, so I'm gonna go Turkey. And then I'll go Switzerland over Iran. I don't know. Iran was a third place team that I picked. Switzerland, I have them topping their group, even though they are in the group of life. Um, yeah, I don't know. Similar to a lot of these round of 32 games, there's a clear better team. And so I'm just going to go with Switzerland there. And then in this last round of 32 matchup, you have Portugal and Senegal. Senegal could definitely cause a huge upset here, especially because you have some players on that Portugal team that don't perform in knockout rounds. And so I wouldn't be too shocked But this is Ronaldo's last World Cup, most likely. I mean, I'd be pretty shocked if he plays in 2030. So I'm going to go Portugal in this one. They're just going to be trying to prove that they can finally make it to the end, because honestly, after, I mean, this has been their probably their best era with Ronaldo, and with their last chance, I just think they're not going to be able to go out that early. And then I'll go back to the top with Germany and France. This is a huge hitter round of 16 matchup, in my opinion, because this is basically who's going to make it to the semifinal, in my opinion, because I don't see Canada or Morocco beating one of these teams. But I just do think that France's experience in these games is going to come in hand with them, and I think France will take this one. It'll be a very tough matchup, but I do think France will have the upper hand and take that one. And then I think Canada's home magic will fizzle out in this one, especially because this game would be held in Houston, which is pretty far from Canada. And so I think Morocco will take that one. They're just clearly the better team, in my opinion. Canada going to the round of 16 would be a huge success for them, but I don't see them going past that. So I'm going to go Morocco in that. And then Croatia and Spain. Again, I've been saying Spain's my favorite to win this World Cup, so I just don't see them losing to Croatia. Like I was saying, I could have seen Colombia beating Croatia, which is how old Croatia's team is getting. Spain is the exact team to be able to beat Croatia like that. So, yeah, it's Spain pretty clearly in that. And then I am going to go an upset here. Give me the USA over Belgium. I don't care. In Seattle, that's like the soccer city of the U.S., with Lumen Field or Seattle Stadium being just a phenomenal place for this game to be. I think that'll really help the U.S. in this one. And I'm going to go U.S. in this one. I'll even give a score prediction 3-1. So that's my pick in that game. And then Brazil, Norway. I think it's just similar. Some of the way these round of 16 matchups, it's either like this could be a final or this could be a group stage matchup. And this is kind of one of those where I think it's a pretty good group stage matchup, but Brazil's the better team. And I think they'll advance through this one. That I don't think Norway has enough to get past Brazil in this. They're a lot more reliant on a few players compared to Brazil just having a whole roster of players that are just boom, 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 even though they might not play together the best. But I do think Brazil is going to beat them in that game. And then this game right here, I've been seeing, this will be a very tough matchup for England. Mexico and England in Mexico City is going to be an insanely tough matchup for England. Just going in there, Mexico is going to be very, very, very ready for this matchup. All of their fans are going to be chanting like crazy. This is a very hostile environment, but England's just the better team in my opinion. And like I was saying earlier, I like they're going with I like that they're going with a more tactical approach in this World Cup, and they are just the better team over Mexico. So I think Mexico's home magic, similar to Canada, will fizzle out in this round of 16. But I do think round of 16 is a little bit of a success for Mexico. And just, I don't think their team is that great right now, compared to how it has been in past tournaments. And then, so moving on from that game into Argentina and Turkey. Similar to what I was saying with just good group stage matchups, even though these are two teams I had not topping their groups, it's a 1 versus 2, I think, in my eyes. I just have Argentina, though. They're the better team. They're the champions of the last World Cup. They're going to win this game, in my opinion. There's not much else to that. And then Switzerland and Portugal. Similar to what I was saying in Portugal's matchup versus Senegal. I mean, I do think Senegal is probably better than Switzerland, possibly, but similar to that, and I just think Portugal is going to be fighting for a lot more than just getting past this round. They're fighting for the actual World Cup, and I just don't see a team like Senegal or Switzerland beating them for that. And so that's why I'm choosing Portugal in that game, which sets up a huge matchup in the quarterfinals. But I'll get to that. That one's the last one I'll pick. So starting the quarterfinals, you have France and Morocco. Like I was saying, I think this Germany-France matchup in the round of 16 is basically to get to the semifinals, just because I don't see Morocco beating either of those teams. So, like I was saying, I'm just going to go France. Um, yeah, I don't think there's much other than that to it, honestly. I just think France is going to beat Morocco in that game. And then, sadly, and this is honestly a bad place for it to happen, but I'm going to have to go Spain over the USA. Um, Picking the USA over Belgium was kind of a little bit of a, all right, not a little bit. It's an upset pick, but I just don't see the USA beating Spain. They're just too good. They're too good, and so I see a um I see the USA going out in the quarterfinals to Spain. Um, like I was saying though, with Mexico and Canada for the host teams, similar to this, the USA getting to the quarterfinals would be massive for them, genuinely massive. So, um, even though it'd be sad to see them go out in the tournament, quarterfinal exit's definitely not the worst, especially to Spain. And then that brings me to Brazil and England in Miami. I don't know, 60 years since England last won the tournament. I think that really is going to play into this of England is a team that they are one of the best teams in the world, and they're just never able to get past that point. And so I do think they will beat Brazil in this matchup, even though Brazil's going to. This one's definitely tough. I could see this going to pins, honestly. But I just think England will have a little bit more fuel in the tank to get past this round and beat Brazil in this matchup. And then Argentina and Portugal to end the quarterfinals in Kansas City. What a fun place for that game to be played. Um, I don't know. I just think Argentina is the better team than Portugal. Messi's better than Ronaldo, in my opinion. All of that goes into the fact that I'm picking Argentina. Um, you could say that, Portugal has more to play for because Messi's already won his World Cup. Argentina doesn't need it as much. But I think experience will play into it. Portugal, especially Ronaldo, he's never even scored a knockout round goal. And so I just think it's going to be tough to make it past Argentina in this game because Argentina is a well-oiled machine at this point. And then, so that brings me to the semifinals, France and Spain. And this one, honestly, is the toughest matchup in this whole thing because I don't know. Actually. That other semifinal and the final is actually going to be pretty hard too. But this, at least so far, this is the hardest matchup. But I do have a pick already in my mind, and it is Spain. I think Lamine Yamal is the best player in the world right now, honestly. He's so young, and I think that it's going to be very similar to the Euros where Spain is just going to make it all the way to the final. They're such a great team right now. And so yeah, I'm gonna pick Spain in that one, even though this is a very tough matchup because of how good both of these teams are. This could absolutely be the final, and I don't think anybody would be mad at that. That would be an amazing final. But I do have Spain advancing past France. And then in the other semifinal matchup, like I was saying with England, compared to, and also how I was saying with Argentina against Portugal, I think Argentina has a little bit less to play for. Obviously, the World Cup's the biggest tournament in the world, so everybody's going to be fighting their absolute best to win that. But there is a little bit that goes into it of just some teams need it more than others. And that's why I think England will make it to the final. Um, and so that actually brings up a rematch, which is pretty funny. Um, and I think it's going to play out very similarly to that final in the Euros of Spain becoming the World Cup champions. Um, I don't know. I think it's just that Spain is the best team in the world right now, in my opinion, and England, no matter how much they like, I had them going to this, and I do think that they're gonna be fighting harder than any other team. I just don't think they're the best team, and I do think Spain is the best team, and so I do think Spain will be my World Cup champions as of the day before the World Cup as I'm filming this. So, uh, yeah, congratulations to Spain.